Good evening, it's January 10th, 2025. I'm sitting with Mr. John J. Jeckovich, and we're reading his book, Their Mother's Sons. We're on the chapter 23 titled Store Opening and Closing. How are you doing today, Mr.
Good,
Jeckovich?
we're doing good.
You're looking well.
I'm disgusted with the news.
Yeah, the news is somehow hard to take, but you had a good day. You had little Amber visiting you.
Yeah.
Didn't that make your day?
Yeah.
All right. That's on the nice side. So how are you feeling today?
I feel good.
Okay. We're reading your book, Store Opening and Closing, and we're on page 783. So I'll start reading, but before I do, I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay. That opens up the laptop. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yes, it is. Today is a gift. So here we go. We're going to pick up on page 783 where we left off yesterday. Store opening and closing. The store we're speaking of is Duplex Giant Wash in Niagara Falls, New York. What was its address?
321 2nd and 3rd Street. 2nd and 3rd Street.
2nd and 3rd Street. Okay, right in the corner there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right across from the fire hall.
All right. Okay. There was a large balcony in the rear of the store that had to be torn down and the debris discarded. No small task. What was that balcony built for, by the way?
That was a theater. That was privileged customers set up there.
Okay. DeLuca was a constant source of irritation, and in the instance wanted us to leave the balcony intact. Why would he want to leave the old balcony?
Yeah, because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. He went so far to suggest that he wanted the extra monthly payments for the added space we would realize with it being torn down.
Huh.
That guy. We ignored him and finally dropped the issue and quickly went on to another tangent. He quickly went on to another tangent, seeking other sources of monetary gain. We contacted Gibbs Drywall to do the demolition and install a new drywall throughout the store. Was Gibbs Drywall a good company?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Including dropping the high ceiling 2 feet. Another bone of contention involved with DeLuca, and he went to court, settled a claim that we deprived his tenants upstairs of heat. This guy made it up as he went, didn't he? Fortunately, we prevailed, but it was a cost to adjudicate the matter and only added to my consternation and apprehension regarding his behavior and the man himself. Meanwhile, Bennett had secured a plumbing contractor from Buffalo who would be doing the plumbing.
Janice was paid big phony.
Not a good plumber?
Well, we had a fire there. He put the boiler on a wooden floor.
Oh, no. Plumbing contractor from Buffalo would do the plumbing and installation of the washers and dryers, run a gas line pipe up the 2-inch black iron pipe for the dryers, as well as the 3-inch water line. Shinnis was the plumber?
Yeah.
Shinnis, the plumber, came highly recommended by Bennett.
Oh, yeah, Bennett, yeah. Bennett was the king of the company from Duplex Drywall.
Uh-huh. As he had done previous laundry installations throughout western New York. I should have suspected his credentials having come recommended by Bennett, but I overlooked it in my haste to start assembling the store. This was another huge mistake. I live to regret the oversight on my part. I offered another glaring, painful lesson in business. I should have been more prudent and taken my time to find my own subcontractor. Gibbs did an excellent job in a short period of time, and the store took on an entirely new look and dimension. It was well worth the $1,200 we agreed to, and for extra $350, he painted the ceiling and the walls with a sealer and 2 coats of paint. Bear in mind, these were the 1960 prices for materials and labor, which you could not touch today. So it would be about 10 times that today. Yeah. Delphine came down to the store after Gibbs had completed painting and was pleased at the progress we made. She became excited at what we had begun to create. The store was at the stage where you could almost visualize how it would appear with 20 washers and 15 Hubitch dryers. We would walk about the interior of the store with its brightly painted walls in a light yellowish hue, and imagine the washers where would they be located. There'd be a long folding table in the center of the room, running lengthwise, and a large mint green dryers towards the rear, forming the back of the store. Behind the dryers were a utility room, which housed a huge Portmore boiler, a large water softener conditioner, and electric control panel. There was adequate room also for a service area, which where actually did the repairing of the equipment and stored some cleaning materials and other odds and ends. What did you have to repair back there?
Well, the washers.
And did you repair them yourself?
Well, we probably change 6 washers a week.
No kidding. Once the hideous balcony was removed, the overall dimensions were almost 35 feet across and over 60 feet, and it's more enticing was the fact that they're all fully manned fire hall. So the fire hall was across the street, right?
Who?
The fire hall was across the street.
Yeah. Police station down the block.
Whoa. The fire hall across the street and the police headquarters were half a block down the street. It was a less affluent neighborhood with an assortment of small stores and restaurants. What's there today?
Yeah, they made a convention center.
It's pretty much a ghetto, right?
Yeah.
It was a less affluent neighborhood with an assortment of small stores and restaurants. There was a Washwell laundromat a few blocks away.
On Niagara Street.
But it was dirty and ill-equipped, and we thought it would not give us much competition, which proved to be correct. Did Washwell stay open the whole time you were opened, or did they eventually go out of business?
He was open, but he didn't do that. He didn't take anything out. That equipment stayed in there for 2 years.
It was a pretty nasty place.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know who owned it?
Huh?
Do you know who owned the Washwell?
No, I don't know. No. It's probably some Greek.
We were excited about what we had started, and some of the misgivings we harbored were being slowly discarded and replaced by anticipation and expectations of great events coming before us. We had no one to share our excitement or anxiety with as the store progressed into its completion. Mother was not kept abreast of our development and was hardly told anything regarding any aspect of it. She did not want to hear about it, and she would on occasion berate me for not doing more around the house. So you're putting it on together the store, and your mother would berate you because you weren't doing enough remodeling.
Her place, yeah.
Yeah. I would spend at the store on my days off and not devoting my time when I would spend at the store on my days off something more constructive around the house, she said. We also made sure we paid our rent at times beforehand and made it a habit to always bring Mother a small gift from one of the children and invite her upstairs for dinner on Sunday or any other day. Delphine would regularly pick up Mother from work with the children, and whenever there was a conflict in scheduling, Mother would always receive the preference. I can recall many times I was dropped off at the store so that Delphine could accommodate Mother on a shopping trip or even pick her up from work. We never thought of it as a hardship or an inconvenience, but only as a matter of course, something we had to do, and gladly accepted it without resentment or displeasure. By the way of comparison, Lookie and Adeline. Who was Lookie and Adeline?
Lookie was my brother, Adeline was his wife.
Okay. How was Adeline? Was she a nice homemaker?
She's a pain in the ass smoker. My mother told, you can't smoke in the house. My mother put signs on the door. She goes, I have to smoke.
Never made an attempt to do anything directly for Mother, says to take her shopping and even to pick her up from work. There was no communication between them. Adeline felt she had her responsibilities with her family and they took first priority.
Yeah.
Didn't you do work for Adeline at one time?
In the summer I did some work, electrical work, yeah.
What did you do for her?
Well, they wanted to put another line in there for another fan or something.
Didn't you ask one of Adeline's sons to help you?
No, he wouldn't come.
Okay. All right. No, I thought you said Adeline said if you want to work here, you do it yourself or something.
Yeah. Well, when I was putting the floor in her kitchen, I had to move the big refrigerator there that her stupid son was home. And so I said, hey, Jenny, can you give me a hand with Adeline? Her dad said, he is not touching anything. Pain in the ass. They hit you every time.
Yeah. Why couldn't he touch anything? Was he injured or something?
No.
He
had to do his homework.
Didn't you say someone was painting a shoe?
Huh?
Didn't you say someone was painting a shoe or something? Drawing a shoe, you said at one time?
That was the other brother. That was the other son.
Oh, okay. He was painting a shoe?
Yeah. Shoelaces and everything.
Uh-huh. Let's see.
Screwy family.
Yeah. By the way of comparison, Lookie and Adeline never made an attempt to do anything directly for Mother. There was no communication between them. Adeline had felt it's her own responsibilities with her own family, and that took first priority.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Delphine would never think of calling Adeline and asking if she'd pick up Mother or take her somewhere. As she was pressed with her duties, Delphine would work around the dilemma. I do not believe Mother understood or realized the lengths that Delphine went to pacify and oblige her. As with Mother, the topic of the store was never brought up when Lookie and Adeline would make their rare visits to Mother. We would listen instead how well Jeffrey, who is Jeffrey?
Jeffrey was the son.
Was doing in school and the outstanding...
They were musically inclined.
And the outstanding progress he was making in music. Adeline never warmed up to our children. Instead, she would appear aloof and unconcerned. Is that how she was, aloof and unconcerned? She never spoke directly to them. This would exasperate me and Delphine, and we'd make light of it, stating it was not that important. Towards the completion of the store, Lookie would ask me some leading questions. From his assertions, I gathered he had gone down to the location and looked around for his own curiosity. So look, he went there without you knowing, just to see what the store looked like.
Yeah. With his beret hat on.
With what?
Beret hat.
Oh, okay.
He thought he was a Class A reporter.
Oh, okay.
Kind of wanted the news.
Okay. Most of what he alluded to was negative and discordant in nature, and I discounted most of it. I fully realized once again his motivation was to dissenter, and his antipathy would be pretty obvious. We had no common interest or purpose, and this only magnified and highlighted our situation of long standing. Gibbs had suggested electrical contractor, and I accepted his good judgment.
Parks. We got Parks.
What's that?
We got Parks electrical contractor.
Okay. I accepted his good judgment and sought out Czar Electric to do the electrical work at the store. It was a good selection. Czar proved to be outstanding and served us well and professionally. Our problem really started in earnest after Shinnis came on the job. Shinnis.
Yeah, the plumber.
Do you remember Shinnis?
When he came on the job, yeah.
Yeah.
He lived in Buffalo.
Outside the constant disputes and legals maneuvering with DeLuca, this was progressing quite well, and with two we got into the plumbing aspect. And plumbing is the most important thing in a laundromat.
Yeah.
We look forward to driving down to the store and see what's been accomplished, and was excited in anticipation of what we have done since the last time he was there. I would usually go down during the day on my days off when I was working afternoons and spend some time there before or after work. On my midnight shift, I'd go during the morning for a short while and perhaps return after supper for an hour or so. Delphine and I would enjoy the progress being made, and it created almost an added dimension to our lives. We felt like we were doing something worthwhile and did not mind the extra time involved. The children also enjoyed visiting the store. And when we initiated the lease, Delphine had her hands full. With the added bulletin of the store, it made for a full day. Shinnis could not work because of his out-of-town license.
Oh.
So he didn't have the right license, I guess.
Yeah. He used the tool. Who was that on our street? The tool. No, the other one.
So we had to have someone locally head up the work. As luck would have it, Nardello was selected as his licensed in-town plumber.
And Nardello, yeah.
Nardello. How was he?
Well, he's good. He's good. Typical talent.
directly responsible for the work. Well, it did not work out that way. Shinnis was completely in charge, and Nardello was only a paper title. So they probably just gave Nardello a few bucks so Shinnis could work under his license, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nardello lived down the street where we lived, next to his parents, and they played a large part in the plumbing of the house we lived in. So Nardello's plumbing, Axel did the plumbing in the house you were living in.
And they did a couple houses on that street.
Wow. There was much to be desired of the existing plumbing, and it was a constant hassle and effort to keep everything in working condition. It was let down to be informed of Nardello's participation, no matter how minor, and I immediately began shopping around for a replacement before I signed a contract with Shinnis. I came upon a small emerging general contracting firm,
On Niagara Street.
the Smith Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they had some basement down cellar.
Yeah, which only were several blocks away from the store. There were three brothers who got together to form their corporation, and they were very small when I first contacted them. They had an office in the basement of their parents' house on 4th Street, and I was immediately impressed with their attitude and their expertise. As I conversed with them, I began to envy what they were accomplishing, and I almost wish I could trade places with any one of them. They got along well together and had a specific task and filled a skill and knowledge. It was all unified under one goal. So they were good workers,
Yeah.
good family business. Smith Brothers were growing steadily and was soon to be one of the top contracting firms in Western New York. Delphine had taken her mother on her first visit to the store while I was working days, and I had no idea what prompted this visit. Delphine related to me that afternoon, and I was surprised that it had come about. Mother wanted to see the store, so Mother did go to the store.
Yeah,
So Delphine, not asking any questions, drove her. It was there the first of only 2 or 3 visits Mother ever made to the store, and she never elaborated on any of them. So she made no comments.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Shinna's first real blunder was mistakenly plumbing up all the washers for pumps rather than gravity. That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
You're plumbing it up for pumps, there's no pumps. Gravity.
He's plumbing it for pumps.
That's a lot of wasted time and money, which meant that all the drains were positioned askew to the natural flow. Consequently, we had to tear out all the several miles of 4-inch copper drain lines. Also, the washers had to be elevated 27 inches for the benefits of the gravity. So you had to get those washers high up on cement for the gravity flow.
Plus the support in the basement.
And tiling the installation of huge concrete pads on each side of the store. These concrete pads generated several tons of dead weight, which necessitated reinforcing the floor with steel beams posted in the basements. So you had to go in the basement and put up a few beams
Yeah, on both sides of the building.
to hold up the additional weight.
Yeah.
Naturally, DeLuca became aware of this and demanded more money once again for the use of his basement.
They would be arrested.
Yeah, which triggered another court action. Shinnis was at a standstill as he wanted to be reimbursed for the mistake he had made.
6 minutes.
Everything came to complete stoppage for almost 2 weeks until it was restored. So Shinnis, who made the mistake, plumbing the lines for pumps in the washer.
And he made a mistake for the water, for hot water. He never made it big enough and he didn't get good enough heavy water. I would go in there, people would call it cold water. They say the water is cold. If they put 16 washers on, take the load off the system, and they were going to play. So they had to get another guy, increase the pipe, and put a bigger boiler in the basement, and back in.
DeLuca did not prevail in court once again. Under protest, I paid Shinnis additional monies to rectify his mistakes. Bennett re-entered the picture, sided with Shinnis, and convinced Brandywine of New York office to force me to pay Shinnis or they'll pull out.
Yeah. Well, the New York office just paid it away.
Yeah.
They didn't want to know nothing. They didn't want to know nothing.
I should have let them pull out. I'd only been to my advantage. It was not long after that I was strictly on my own. If they would have pulled out, you could put any name up there.
Huh?
You could have called your laundromat any name. You didn't need their name. Because after that, they didn't do anything.
They didn't name the football. I named the note for all of that.
Okay.
That was my stupid
So what was the benefit of them staying in?
Saying in the
The company in New York
It's
office.
not a big show. They bring that clown salesman down from New York, and he said, oh, it looks great, it looks great, you're doing a great job. Just send us more money.
Delphine was upset regarding the entire episode. As I attempted to console her, I became despondent myself. As a first real taste of business world, it was an expensive lesson to learn. We vowed to be less petulant and more sage in our approach, attempt to stay on top of things and look out for our best interest. Our next big hurdle was pouring in tons of concrete for the washer pads. I sought this advice from the Smith brothers, but they would not accept the piecemeal contract. They did state that I must secure the floor with the steel beams and post in the basement. I can still recall discussing the matter with them in the basement office and how cordial and sympathetic they were. Minutes, please.
Just under 4. Just under 4.
What's that?
So you had to have the Smith brothers lay all the cement to put the washers up 27 inches.
Yeah.
But the floor was not strong enough, so the Smith brothers had to go in the basement
To support it.
and support it with 3 beams.
Yeah.
And the landlord, DeLuca, said, now you're taking my basement, which I was going to put a restaurant in there,
Yeah.
and we want more money. And then when you lowered the ceiling by 2 feet, the landlord, DeLuca, came in and said, you owe me more money because now you're taking away the heat of the upstairs.
Heat rises.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one battle after another, and the plumber, Shinnis, didn't listen to your instructions that the washers will be gravity fed and not pump fed, and he spent a lot of money installing copper lines for the pump.
Yeah.
So those had to be ripped out and you had to pay it.
Yeah.
So what finally happened with Shinnis? Did he ever finish the job?
Well, we kicked his ass out and we gave it our dough. Finish it up.
And he finished the job?
Yeah.
And how about the Smith brothers? They worked out pretty good?
Yeah, they had a big business going on. I could go there every day, yak to them for 2 or 3 hours. They run their own business.
And what about Bennett? Did he disappear once the store?
He left. He was in Buffalo, or North Carolina. I never seen him again.
Were they supposed to have gotten a franchise fee every month?
Huh?
Were they supposed to have gotten a franchise fee every month?
A franchise?
When Bennett signed you up, did he just sell you equipment, or did you have to give him a certain percentage of the sales?
No. Continuously?
Yeah.
No.
So he just basically was there to sell you the equipment.
Yeah.
Is that
He didn't sell it. We bought the equipment from the Buffalo outfit that was strictly for laundromats, washers and dryers. And we got them.
So how did Bennett make money?
Huh?
How did Bennett make money?
The commission he got when he got the job.
Oh, I see.
And then he was gone.
And then you never seen him again?
No, I never seen him again. In New York, I never seen him again. They didn't want to know nothing.
Yeah. Wow, that's something, minutes.
Minute 16.
So once the store is open and you had some problems worked out, it went pretty smooth, right?
No, it wasn't smooth because I swept the water out every night, every day.
Why?
I was getting the population, I was getting the people there, but there wasn't enough hot water.
But you eventually changed that, right?
No, we never changed it.
So the whole time the store was open, there wasn't enough hot water?
Oh, no. Where were we going to put the boilers?
It'd be not enough space,
We
right?
had to take all that shit out of the back room. Take it out. Run new pipes and everything.
You think Bennett would have knew that?
Bennett wouldn't know that. No, he's not a plumber.
Well, you
The one
think
should know that was Shinnis. He didn't know. He knew the system was higher.
Shinnis should have knew that if he did other laundromats.
No, he didn't. I don't think he ever did a laundromat.
Oh, but they said he did.
Yeah, well, that was bullshit one after another.
Minutes?
14 seconds.
So Shinnis was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had that little ice cream parlor right next to Stratton Cataract on